Hello there trainers, welcome back to AdamantianGaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Magmortar in the Love Cup, shiny Magmortar of course, with Thunderbolt to catch those water types off guard. It's a really good fun team to use. It worked out a lot better than I expected and I hope you enjoy the battles. As always, please don't forget to like, comment and of course subscribe for future content. But without further ado, let's get into the battles. So yeah, apologies I've not posted in a few weeks. I've had lots of stuff going on, I've been very busy, and honestly I've not been too inspired with the repeats of cups, but I had to get this team out because Magmortar was great fun to use and needed to see it. So we've got a lead quite good against Wigglytuff. We're going to charge up a little bit extra energy and throw the Fire Punch, whether we get a shield or do a big chunk of damage. We're happy either way. We get the shield, charge a little bit extra and swap. We've got to prepare Magmortar for later, get him as close to a Thunderbolt just in case they've got a water type. We'll commit a shield here, we don't want to take the damage from Wigglytuff. Probably almost charge up to 2 discharges and they probably won't shield at this point, they'll let the Wigglytuff go down, which they do. The opponent brings in an Ariados, we'll charge up a little bit extra and we will go ahead and throw another discharge. Of course they block, they've not had a lunge on us yet. And at this point, Electrode has done its job, so we're going to let it go down and come back in with the Magmortar. Opponent swaps into the water type and we've almost got to that Thunderbolt, but we're not quite there yet, so we'll go ahead and go into the Medicham to take out this Milotic, keep as much health as we can, knowing that we can probably threaten the Ariados if we overcharge well enough. Go ahead and throw the Psychic just to maximize our damage here. Ooh, missed quite a few bubbles, not great, but we should be able to farm down here, and we've got a little bit of an energy lead here on the Ariados. We get to the Psychic at exactly the same time, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we do hang on, we are able to throw the Psychic, and this Ariados is going to be going down here. Game 1, good game to the opponent. So yeah, Magmortar didn't have too much to do in that game, but it was ready just in case. It was pretty much a Thunderbolt. Medicham picked up the slack. On to the next battle. We see a lead against a Galarian Slowbro. So again, we're going to charge up a little bit of energy for later, and then we're going to head and swap into our Medicham. We lure out a Fairy, and we're going straight for the Psychic here, just trying to maximize the damage that we can do, or get a shield, that's fine as well. The opponent lets it go, and that's just perfect. It's in farm down range for either of the other two Pokemon. We'll wait the timer out so we can try and get the switch clocks realigned. Back in with the Magmortar to farm down, and we've got lots of energy on it now. Does the Alomola expect a Thunderbolt though? Going for it, and they do respect it. That's quite unfortunate. Magmortar will go down here, but we've got Electrode with 2 shields now in the back. Fairly useful. We'll go ahead and shield up the first Psychic. Obviously this would hurt a lot. Continue to Volt Switch. Overcharged 2 discharges before throwing, so we're prepared for whatever Pokemon is in the back. Oh yes, the Galarian Slowbro, of course. This is going to be pretty close then. We shield up the Sludge Bomb, obviously, because that would take us out. We're almost at 2 discharges. So it comes down to, can one more Volt Switch and a discharge take out the Galarian Slowbro? Super close. And Electrode falls just short, and double KO. Very close battle there. Good game to the opponent. Don't worry, we're going to see Magmortar's Thunderbolt land sometimes. And it's such a beautiful moment when it does. Ah, trust me. Alright, another fairly good lead against Clefable. Mortar is very squishy though, so these charms do add up. But as always, we're going to overcharge a little bit. And the opponent brings in a Magmortar, so we go up to the Thunderbolt before swapping into our Electrode. They've got Rock Throw, so it's going to take them a long time to charge up, so we should be able to shield here, farm it all the way down, and leave with a ton of energy on Electrode for whatever comes in next. Oh, okay, actually, we're going to go ahead and throw. Trying to minimize the damage that we're taking from those Rock Throws. It's a beautiful shiny Magcargo as well. So cool. The opponent's waiting out the switch clock a little bit, and they bring back in their Clefable. We're going to go charge a little bit extra and throw the discharge. And they let it go, knowing they can tank it, but we're able to get to another one, so we're either going to force a shield here, or we're going to be taking out the Clefable. And we do get the shield, that's perfect. Back in with Magmortar, and they swap immediately into something I didn't see. Ah, they're running double charms. So quickly swap in to our Medicham just to kind of do as much damage as we can. This isn't looking good though, double charm's tough for this team. However, thanks to Wigglytuff's part normal type, the counters, they do add up. So we're going to have to commit our last shield here. Charge as much as we can on our Magmortar, and pray that this can take out the Clefable. Pretty sure it was on low HP, wasn't it? That was, and Magmortar closes that game out with a lovely Fire Punch, and that's a good game to my opponent. Aye. So yeah, Magmortar, it's best in the league. You try to have it in the back, it usually gets countered, and it needs that little bit of advantage of being able to charge up at the start for later on in the battle. So a great lead against an Ariados here. The opponent's staying in, most likely throwing a lunge. We're going to let it go, but even though it's resisted, Squishy Magmortar takes quite a bit of damage. So we'll overcharge a little bit extra, and they do make a lovely swap to catch on their Talonflame. So we're going to save the energy for later and go into our Electrode to chunk away at this thing. Shield up the flame charge that's most likely coming through, but it's a brave bird. Suits us perfectly. We can charge up, take it out, no problem at all. Don't have to worry about spending a second shield. They bring back in their Ariados, and because Electrode is so loaded in energy here, we're going to use the last shield and hope that we can at least get one back here. And we do get one back, but we are doubled up. So are they willing to spend both their shields at this point? They aren't, thankfully. And it's a Charmer in the back, so this is looking kind of dangerous. Thankfully we're able to get to the next discharge to put on the pressure. And we do get their last shield and make an immediate swap into our Magmortar to go for our Fire Punch, which will chunk the Wigglytuff. Even though it's just a Fire Punch, Magmortar hits hard. We get it to low health, and hopefully our Medicham can close this up. Play Rough is gonna hurt. Ooh, almost takes us out. We can't quite get to the Power Up Punch, but we'll leave it with 1 HP. And I don't know what happened there. Lag, perhaps? I don't know if the timings of Charm and Volt Switch, are they not supposed to be 3 counts each? It should have been a double KO there, right? But that's the state of the game right now. Whatever. On to the next one. Good game. Magmortar versus Scrafty. That's an okay lead. As always, we're going to charge up to just a little bit more than a Fire Punch. We'll throw a Power Up Punch here, that's fine. We're going to let that go. But now we do have to be ready to swap. We're going to go into the Electrode and keep our hard counter for later in case they decide to swap out. We'll shield this one up because they are boosted and it'll start to add up. If it was a foul play, it would probably kill us. Immediately throw the discharge and put on the pressure to that Scrafty, but double boosted counters, ouch. Electrode's not going to survive to get to another move, so it's not worth using the second shield. Oh, it did survive, but didn't get. It wouldn't have got to another move. And with our hard counter now, Medicham. And the opponent brings in an Ariados. We're going to go straight for the Psychic. They'll probably shield, they mostly do. But in this case they don't, and that was a terrible mistake by them. Quick snipe with Magmortar. Scrafty gets to another move. It's probably just another power-up punch, but at this point it is worth shielding. Farm it down with Magmortar. And in comes a Mag Cargo. That's pretty dangerous. I accidentally throw the wrong move. We do get to the Thunderbolt as well, though, so that's pretty handy. And it lands for a huge chunk of damage. And now it's just a case of, can our Medicham farm it down? Or do they have an overheat? And does their overheat kill? It's just a Rock Tomb. So we're in a great position here to close the game out. Medicham takes the win. Good game to my opponent. So that was a nice set of 3 there. And a shiny Tornadus. I didn't even notice this until like an hour later when I was looking through the footage again. And I was like, wait, there's a shiny? And I pulled up my Pokemon Go app again. I was like, oh my god, it is Couldn't believe it. I was so chuffed by that. It's not the greatest shiny in the world though, is it? I mean, it gets a little bit of a black tail and black chest plate instead of like purple. Barely any difference. But we'll take it, it's a shiny legendary. Not bad stats either. Cool. Alright, on to set number 2. Oops. So yeah, hopefully we can see a little bit more of Magmortar's Thunderbolt action. I think there's 1 or 2 of these battles that we actually get to see it land on the water types when they're not expecting it, and my god, it hurts them. Alright. Fairly neutral lead against Galarian Slowbro. So as always, we're going to charge up to the Fire Punch and then make the swap this time into Medicham. Tank the Sludge Bomb. It does hurt a lot. We should be able to get to a Psychic to threaten a shield. Ideally we'd like them to shield, but if they don't, we'll take that too. Perfect. We get the shield. And Medicham will be farmed all the way down here. They're probably at a Sludge Bomb, so we're going to have to shield with the Electrode. But we should be able to leave now this battle with a lot of energy on the Electrode. Oh dang, there were 2. Okay, we're going to have to double shield this then. And now we should be able to farm all the way down. But we decided to come in with the Magmortar just for a little bit extra energy, which was probably a bad mistake. Opponent brings in Solrock, which is just chunking us away. Yeah, Solrock's kind of a core breaker for this team. Medicham does okay against it, but it's quite tough to handle. Hyper Beam only does half of its health. Maybe should have went for double discharge there, but it is what it is. And in set number 2, we take a loss first game. Well played to my opponents. Yeah. Solrock's, yeah. Not the most fun for this team. On to the next. We are faced with Electrode in the start. Fairly neutral matchup again. The opponent decides to swap out into their Crustle, and we're going to go ahead and go for our Medicham, which is pretty good matchup against the Crustle. We're going straight for the power-up punch. I mean, look, that's counters unboosted. It's going to add up a lot. We should be able to leave this match with a lot of extra energy. Now we're able to farm them all the way down before they're able to throw another move. So that's pretty nice. Opponent brings in their Charmer, Clefable, and we're going to go ahead and throw the Psychic straight away. And it lands, doing a huge amount of damage, and we're able to get to the power-up punch. This is going to probably put the Clefable close to or in the red. But they decide to shield. The power-up punch, oof, that's quite tough. We'll come back in with... No, we don't, because the opponent concedes the match. I don't think that was over there, but good game. Alright, on to the next one. Zuze. 111. Cool top hat. Alright. Medicham in the lead this time. So we're going to go ahead and swap into our Medicham for that fairly neutral matchup. We'll let their Psychic or Power Up Punch come through. Whatever it is fine. And thankfully it's the Power Up Punch. We'll overcharge quite a bit. And I think we shield here? No, we do. And it's just an Ice Punch. We could have let that go, but it's okay. We've got an absolute ton of energy now. We'll try and go for double Psychic. Hopefully this first one lands, which it does. So actually we're going to go for Power Up Punch and try and counter down now because that landed. And the opponent Power Up Punches again. Oh no. I don't know if that was the play. They shield the Power Up Punch as well. Oh my goodness. We farm them all the way down. We've got a Psychic, I think, charged up at this point almost. And we should be able to take out the Ariados here. But they do decide to shield and throw their energy on like a 2 HP Pokemon, so that's absolutely fine with me. We'll come back in with our Magmortar. And they swap to Electrode, so we'll immediately swap to ours as well and have that mirror match, knowing that Magmortar should easily be able to close out this battle, no problem against the Ariados. We'll shield up in case it's a Hyper Beam, and we do call it correctly. We'll overcharge a little bit as well, and we'll throw our Hyper Beam in return. Ours, however, will be landing because they've got no shields. Takes the Electrode out, and we should be able to get to a discharge here. Lunge shouldn't kill from this range, so we'll get to the discharge. Put it on a nice low HP for Magmortar to hopefully just clean up, no problem whatsoever. And we're able to swap, timer's up, and 2 fire spins there. That one does get through. Just one more tap should do it. Good game to my opponent. Shiny Magmortar closing that one out, no problem. On to, I think it's the second last battle now. And we're faced with a Sylveon, a shiny Sylveon. It's such a nice looking Pokemon. Shiny battle in the front. And we get like a second or two of Go Battle lag on the opponent's side, so we're going to take that. Swap into the Rock Throw Magmortar, and we're going to swap into our hard counter for that and just start ramping up our damage with Power Up Punches, aiming to farm this thing all the way down and leave with a ton of energy. And again, because they are Rock Throw, they're very slow to get to their moves. And we decide to let this go. I'm trying to call a Rock Tomb, but a Stone Edge is fine as well. And we'll leave with 2 shields and a ton of energy. Psychic immediately and what sounded like a Charmer there. Yeah, back to their Sylveon again. That's fine, we'll take a shield. Medicham did really well there. And we'll go straight for our Fire Up Punch with Magmortar. Will they decide to shield this? They better. No, they do. Good call by the opponent. And again, we see another kind of mirror match against the Electrode. The opponent throws at 3 Volt Switches, so we're able to let this go, knowing that it's not going to be a Hyper Beam. But since we've got 2 shields, we're going to go for our Hyper Beam. And the extra squishy Shadow Pokemon is definitely going to go down to this. And now it's 2 shields versus a Sylveon in the back. We can't quite reach the discharge. And the opponent decides to concede the match. Good game. Magmortar was seriously dangerous in this Love Cup, and I'm actually quite sad to see it go. I was a little bit uninspired at the start of it coming out, but you know, by the end of this week, it was great fun to use. Okay, so we're seeing a Alomomola in the front. That's not great. We're getting out of there immediately into our Medicham, keeping our hard counter Electrode for later. The opponent hard counters us back with their Clefable, but we reach a Psychic, which lands, doing a huge chunk of damage. And we get to the Power Up Punch as well. So again, this will put it to very low HP, or get a shield. Perfect. I think we can back in with our Magmortar here, because we resist the charms. We do. Can we farm it down? Not quite. We can't quite farm it down. We have to give up the shield here because Magmortar is squishy. Even though he resists that, that would take off a lot of his HP. And we're going to stay in and try and get that Thunderbolt off in the Alola here. Landing this would be huge for this battle. And we do land it. Look at that damage. Perfect. Electro can just come in to clean up. I'm shielding up the Psychic, of course. We don't want to take that damage. And there's an Ariados in the back, so we're going to try and land 2 discharges here. We should manage. Lunge isn't enough of a threat to take us out in one shot. Okay, they are going for what looks to be the Lunge. No problem at all. And we're able to get to the second discharge, which should put it, not kill it, but it should put it really low. Couple more Volt Switches, maybe one Fire Spin range approximately. And Magmortar closes out that battle almost. Can he Fire Spin down? Yes he can. Alola didn't know what hit it with that fire type there. Beautiful. And good game to my opponent. So as you can see, for the Love Cup, Magmortar is quite a spicy, but quite a good pick. Surprise Thunderbolts land for an absolute ton of damage, and the Fire Punch chunks away. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.